Today we're going to talk about a tool called speed of change. You know, there's an old story that's talked about in lots of books. It goes like this. Back in the days, you know, this is before the Starbucks and cafe lattes and all that stuff. They sold coffee. And this office building didn't have a coffee shop. So this guy dragged a cart to the lobby and he would sell coffee in the mornings. He'd show up early. So as the early comers came in, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, they got coffee. And he was there through the mid-morning break. But at 10 o'clock or so, there'll be a line. And you know, everybody would show up at 10 o'clock and there'll be a long line. Now, poor guy, he's got the coffee made, but he's pouring coffee. Coffee at the time was 75 cents. So he'd pour a cup of coffee, then he'd go to his till, they'd give him $1, he'd make change, come back to the next guy, pour another cup of coffee, go back to the till, make change. And the line would go longer and longer for the mid-morning break. And some people would kind of look and say, forget the coffee, and they'd leave. And he'd notice that, oh gosh, I lost a customer. So then one day he got this idea. He said, you know what, I'm not going to make change. I'm just going to put a bowl out there with change in the bowl and tell people to make their own change. So he pours coffee, says 75 cents, please make your own change. Pours coffee for the next guy. Now he's got greater throughput. He's able to serve more people. He didn't lose customers. Now what did the customers do when they made change? You know what's interesting? At the end of the day, he knew how many coffees he had poured and how much money he had made. And he found two things. He poured more coffee than he used to, understandably, but he actually made more money per cup of coffee than he used to, because a lot of people would just leave the change. The point in that story is that when you trust people, stuff moves faster. Life moves much faster and much more smoothly when you are in an environment where you can trust people. That got me to thinking, and I asked, so why is it that some organizations can change real quickly and some organizations can't? So I offer this formula for speed of change. Speed of change is related to three components. First component, speed of trust. How much do you trust the system? Trust itself is made up of two components. First is alignment. When two people are aligned, when you and I are aligned, when I know that your intent, your objective, your goal is aligned with mine, I'm going to trust you more. I know you're not going to do something that is going to harm me. I'm going to trust you more. So alignment contributes to speed of trust. The other factor that contributes to speed of trust is confidence. If I have confidence in you, if I have the feeling that you can actually get this stuff done, I'm going to suggest, hey, can you do this for me? If I don't have confidence, I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to trust you to be able to do it. You need both alignment and confidence to establish trust. If you have alignment but not confidence, I know you're aligned, you want to get the same thing done as I do, but if I don't have confidence in you, I'm not going to trust you to do it. Worse, if you have confidence, I think you can do a great job, but I don't have alignment, I don't really think you and I want to go to the same place I want to go. Now, not only am I not going to trust you, I'm going to mistrust you. I'm not going to ask you to do this because you'll do the other thing, the thing I don't want to do. Both alignment and confidence are required for speed of trust. So speed of change is made up of speed of trust. The second, speed of action. How fast can you take action? How quickly can you act? How quickly can you make a decision? So the ability to make a decision and act quickly allows you to increase speed of change. That ability is not easy. In most organizations, speed of action is probably the most limiting factor because they don't have a clear decision-making model. So to get speed of change to be high, you need to have a clear decision-making model that gives you speed of action. But not just these two, speed of trust and speed of action. There's a third component that is important. Speed of risk. Speed of risk. Ask yourself, how many times in our company have we pretty much decided to do something, but nobody ever pulled the trigger on actually doing it? The reason? You're afraid. You're afraid of the adverse consequences that might occur in taking that action. You know, a business that takes action very quickly, go to Wall Street. Those guys don't wait around. In fact, many of the hedge funds move to the point where Bloomberg brings the cable from New Jersey into Manhattan so that they can be as close to that cable for electronic news so that they can pull the trigger and make the transaction. That's how fast they operate. The reason? They have high speed of risk. The higher your capacity for risk, the greater your capacity for change. So speed of change is made up of speed of trust, speed of action, and speed of risk. If you want to increase the speed of change in your company, ask yourself, which of these three items is the limiting factor for us? Focus on that item. Improve it until one of the others becomes the limiting factor and you can move your focus. Examine in your company your speed of change.